Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today it is that time of year where the mid-year freak out book tag has arrived. We're gonna go over these questions. This is I think my third time doing this. Yeah? Which is really exciting. I'm excited to talk about some of these books. I am almost at my goal. No, I'm not almost at my goal. I'm almost at the 100 book mark for the year, which is so crazy. I'm going to have my 2023 bookish stats come out next, so look forward to that, where I'll kind of go more in depth about the books that I've read and ratings, pages, blah 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 blah, blah, all that fun stuff. But today we're just gonna do the tag. This tag was created by Earl Grey Books and I want to say Cami. She doesn't post a whole lot anymore and she doesn't do book content anymore, but she does still have a channel and does a lot more like lifestyle vlog stuff. But Ellie still does booktube, still doing great. This tag was made like 6 years ago or something insane, so that's great. Love that it's still going strong in this community. But without further ado, let's just jump right in with a banger of a first question. What's the best book I've read? I've picked 4 because I have no chill. Kind of for different reasons. So the first one that I want to mention is How to Keep House While Drowning. I don't remember this author. This is a pretty recent read. It's a nonfiction and it really helped shape my mindset for cleaning, which I know sounds a little bizarre, but it's been really helpful for me and just kind of like learning to adult a little bit and clean my house to be more productive and functional for me, rather than just like stressing over the house and calling myself mean names. So I really appreciated that experience, and that's a book that I probably will continue to read over and over and over again. And then we've got honorable mention, The Honeys by Ryan LaSala. I really enjoyed the audiobook experience with this. I thought it was so much fun. And the sound effects of the bees were just fantastic. This is basically just, wow, words. This is following our main character, Mars, who I believe was a twin, but his sister recently passed away. By the way, Mars uses all pronouns, he, she, and they. So if I'm flip-flopping, that is why. I'll try to stick to they, them, just to make it simple. But his sister dies, and yeah, Mars goes back to the summer camp that Caroline, his sister, was very invested in. And they, I don't want to say like crack the case, like there's not necessarily anything to solve, but Mars is discovering a lot of things about his sister that they didn't previously know, and it starts to dip into some eerie what is going on here territory. I really enjoyed the storyline and the characters and just everything about this. I thought was really fantastic. I definitely will see myself reading this again and again, especially the audiobook, but I did have to buy a copy because I just needed it on my shelves. Like, it's so pretty, and it's so good. Sometimes the darkest secrets lurk in the broad daylight. This does take place in summer camp, so if you're looking for a fun summer thriller horror, I would highly suggest this. It's YA and it's really good. And then next, I've chosen The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshni Chokshi. I adore this book. I adore the bridegroom. I adore Indigo. I adore the house and the like fairy tale story that's twined throughout, and just like that children fantasy, like the magic that children believe in and the extremes that some kids might go to achieve this magic goal. I don't know, something about this like really worked for me. The last line I don't remember a lot of lines, it's just not really who I am, but this last line will stick with me forever. It's not even like revolutionary, but it really just hits the spot for me. I had a great time reading this. It was a really fun experience. This book is absolutely beautiful. And so yes, I'm really happy to have read this, and now I just adore it. So that's the other one. And then finally, I'm sure this is going to be everywhere, and I'm sure people are getting really sick of it now, but I'm really here for it. So we're gonna talk about Fourth Wing. I love this. This was an incredible reading experience. It really is objectively like an okay book, but there is just something about it that pulls you in. You don't want to put it down. You need to know what's going on. And it really tugs at every heartstring you could possibly have. This was such an amazing experience. I had so much fun chatting with my friends about it, convincing a lot of friends to read it. I'm trying to get my boyfriend to read it, maybe my mom to read it. Like, it just means that much to me. But in this, we are following our main character, daughter to the, like, commander or whatever, and she's being thrown in to the Dragon Riding Academy, where a lot of students die, and she's basically trying to survive because she was meant to be a scribe. This was not the lifestyle she had picked out for herself or her father wanted for her. And so now she has to go through these trials and basically overcome all odds. Like, nobody expects her to do well. You've got her childhood best friend Dane, who's like a level 2, guiding her, and you meet new friends along the way, which honestly I really love the friends. And you're also meeting a couple potential enemies, some people that don't really like her because of her mother and politics, and there's just like a lot happening in this. I really love the action scenes and the way that they were written. I really love the romance and the love interest. There are flaws, but I refuse to see them. You understand? I'm so excited. I love this. I can't wait to read it again. So good. It's so good. The second question is, what is the best sequel that I have read so far this year? And I've been doing pretty okay at reading series. I've started a lot, but I have been continuing with them, so I feel like I can't be too upset. But for this, I've decided to go with with Long Live the Elf Queen. I believe this is by L.M. Curl. I know Curl is the last name. I'm not sure if I have the initials right. But this is the sequel to Bow Before the Elf Queen. The Bow Before the Elf Queen is a fantasy romance, heavy on the fantasy. It's fated mates, it's enemies to lovers. It's got a lot of your like classical tropes, but honestly I loved the characters' banter and just like their relationship and how they were overcoming it. I really loved where it left off at the end and how it picked up in Long Live the Elf Queen. I need the third book. I need news for the third book. It's driving me absolutely insane. But I just thought it was like such a fun story, and like all of the cast of characters were a lot of fun as well. I didn't necessarily think it needed to be as long, but by the end of the second book, like, my jaw was on the floor. I needed to know what was gonna happen. I'm still stuck in that like limbo space of I need the next one so bad. It's like hurting me. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I do recommend it. I thought the audiobook experience was beautiful. I absolutely adored the way that they both were speaking in each other's chapters. So instead of our main character being narrated with a female voice, instead of her speaking the love interest lines, he would still be in her chapters speaking his lines. There's just something about it. I really loved it. I thought it was so cool. I need more books to do that. Question number 3 is, what new releases do I still hope to get to? I honestly haven't been keeping track with new releases as much this year. Like, I've been reading some, but not to the same extent as I have in previous years. I've kind of just been picking things up that sound interesting and good, and then trying to fit whatever's going on in the month. But I would say I really need to read the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw, Don't Fear the Reaper. It's following Jade, but I believe a few years in the future. Like, Jade, I think, is coming back to this town and things have changed, and I don't know. I have heard that there's more action throughout rather than just like at the end. I know this one's a bit of a slog to get through the first 300 or 400, first 300 pages, but those last 100 pages were so good. So I definitely want to get you Don't Fear the Reaper. I didn't grab it, but I want to read In the Lives of Puppets still. I've heard a lot of good reviews coming in for that. And then, of course, I would like to get to That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human. I do have this. I bought it on my Kindle. The paperback isn't coming out, I don't think, until next year because they're getting a cover redesign because Orbit picked up the books, which, like, good for you, but at the same time, I like the old covers. I want those editions. But yeah, I did buy the Kindle book so that I could read it before the physical copies get released because it's a series that I really enjoy. I am a little nervous that it's going to be too similar to the first book, That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, but we will just have to wait and see. I'm assuming not, but either way, I'm excited. And following that, question number 4, some of my most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. I think I'm going to do a whole video going into the books that I'm excited for and what, like, I still really want to get to and just dive deeper into the topic. But for now, the ones that I'm really excited for are Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. This is her 3rd book, kind of in her witchy series. Unfortunately, the cover does not match the first 2, Wild as the Witch and The Nature of Witches. It's not the same, like, thematic cover, but it is a really pretty cover, and I've already pre-ordered it, and I'm so excited because just recently Rachel announced, like, the naked hardback for pre-orders and, like, the first edition run. Oh, gorgeous. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Another that I'm excited for is, of course, the sequel. It's a little bit harder to see now. Of course, is going to be the sequel, companion sequel, to House of Salt and Sorrow, which is going to be House of Roots and Ruin, following the youngest sister, Verity, and I don't really know much more than that, but I'm so very excited for it. That's coming out in July. And another one that I'm really excited that I didn't know was coming out is Courtney Good's newest, which is Where the Echoes Die, I believe. Beautiful cover. I'm really excited. I don't know what's in store, but this is the same author who wrote The Dead in the Dark, which is my favorite genre, young adult fantasy horror, so I'm excited for anything that Rachel Good. No, why do I keep messing up names? Courtney Good comes out with My Lanta. And then question number 5. My biggest disappointment for 2023 so far, and I have to go with Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. Not good, not great. I saw the hype around, I know it was really popular on Book Talk and kind of made its way into YouTube, and I decided to pick it up, and it felt super flat for me. It was boring, it was very slow. I didn't really believe in their romance. The love interest is, like, the only decent man in the entire story, so the bar is set really low, and it just didn't work for me in that sense. Like, it's also a bit of, like, a power dynamic, like a mentor and a mentee relationship, which I don't personally really jive with either, and it was just way too slow. Like, the last fourth got more exciting, but it still just didn't grip me enough. It's not a series I'm going to continue with either. But it was really disappointing because I just heard so much hype. But on to the next question. What surprised me? A Serpent of Wings and Night by Carissa Broadbent. I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm excited to continue with the series. I buddy read this with mainly Eliza, but Daphne and Melody are also reading it, and they're kind of telling us, like, what they're thinking and how they're feeling as they go. But I really did enjoy it. I'm a vampire girly. I just love vampire books and media to begin with. But this is following a human who's entered into these, like, vampire trials and is so badass. The banter with the love interest is some of the best. It's incredible. I loved their relationship. I loved how everything played out between them. I thought the trials were really fun. That's something that, like, really interests me in books, is, like, fun trials. I loved the moon phases to signify, like, where, like, what stage we were at. It's just everything about it I thought was really, really good. I'm excited for the new audiobooks to come out later this year. Oh, I'm excited. I'm gonna definitely be continuing with this, hopefully sooner rather than later. I want to, like, wait for the audiobook, but I also don't want to wait, you know, so we'll have to wait and see. The other one that surprised me, honestly, was Fourth Wing. I pre-ordered this the day it came out to, like, get the pretty edition, and because I heard a lot of hype on BookTube, Covers with Cassidy was talking about it, and she was really enjoying it, so I was like, I'm gonna just bite the bullet and get it. And then I was seeing so much hype around it that I was really nervous. A lot of the time, hyped books don't work for me for one reason or another, so I was a little worried that I wasn't gonna like it or wasn't gonna intrigue me and it was gonna be too cringy. But it really did just blow me away. It is one of my favorite books of this year. Maybe it might even be my favorite for this year. We'll have to see. But yeah, I did really enjoy this, and I was surprised. And the next question is favorite new to you author, debut or otherwise. And I'm going with otherwise because I've been tracking the debut authors, but I haven't been super invested in any of them. But one that knocked my socks off that I read for the first time this year was Babel. R.F. Kuang knows how to write a book. I know that Babel doesn't work for everybody. It was a 4-star for me. I was reading it in tandem with Allie during her 24-hour readathon, and I enjoyed it more than she did. I actually thought that this was a lot of fun, and I'm a big nerd and love linguistics and languages, and I really enjoyed the conversations that this had. It didn't necessarily teach me anything new or surprise me. It's not really action-packed, but I did really like the characters and the dynamic and the world and just everything this had to offer. It's very, like, this is what I picture when I say dark academia. Like, you're in a school setting, you're learning with the character, dark secrets are lurking in the shadows. Like, this is kind of what I want. And R.F. Kuang is just an incredible author and writer, and the talent is just there. You can't deny it. You don't have to like the story to recognize that R.F. Kuang is a great writer. I'm so excited. I'm going to be picking up Yellowface later this year, I think, and I have to read the Poppy Wars because of Rachel. So I will definitely be reading more of R.F. Kuang this year, and I'm really excited for it. And number 8 is newest fictional crush. Every time I have done this tag, I have never had an answer. I'm always just kind of like, I guess this man is cool, I guess. But this year, there's some contenders. I would say from Fourth Wing, both Xaden and girl's name who I don't remember. Because I'm listening to a different book, so I'm just thinking of that girl's book name, and she's not irrelevant. No, she's not relevant. Violet. I always forget that because it's so simple. I like them both a lot. I think that Violet is very pretty. The fucking fan art, guys. She's gorgeous. Xaden, so hot. I would also, like, humbly nominate the bridegroom because he's the epitome of romance to me. Like, please tell me fairy tales while we sit in a big bubble bath together and drink champagne. Like, that is romance to me. So he gets a little something for that. The next question is newest favorite character that I love, and I'm going with Amina from The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. I had a lot of fun with it. Honestly, like, the entire cast I think was incredible. They really played off each other well. I really enjoyed the narration. Yeah, recommend the audiobook if you want to pick this up. But it was just so fun being with this, like, ragtag group of characters that were a little bit older and going on, like, this final adventure for the best treasure you could ever get, a person. There was just so much fun to this. It was a little bit quirky, a little bit kooky, while still high stakes, high adventure, a lot of action. It was just a really, it was a great experience, and I really loved Amina and her love for her daughter, and just, like, the way her motives made sense, and she just was really funny. I adored this book. I adored her. She was such a fun character to hang out with. Question number 10. Oh boy. A book that made me sob. I've only had one this year. One book that made me cry like a baby. And it was my second read of the year, like very early on. And it was The Traveling Cat Chronicles. Oh my god, this book hurt. I knew it was gonna happen too, but it still just hit me way harder than I ever thought it would. This is following a man and his cat as he tries to go friend to friend to find somebody who can help take care of his cat. He has to give him away for some reason, and you're just kind of along for the ride to see, like, his relationship with his friends, but also the cat's perspective and his relationship with everyone and the other animals, and it just was such a good time. It hurt so bad. I've never cried harder to a book, and I knew it was coming. I knew what was happening. I was suspecting it from the very beginning, and it still hit me like a train, and I still sobbed so hard. I remember I like finished the book and I was just crying so deeply, and my boyfriend was making dinner and he was just like, "You good?" And I was like, no, I'm really not good. I'm so far from good right now. It was a 5-star. It was absolutely impeccable. I do recommend it. I know it hurts, but sometimes it's good to cry, and if you're crying in a fictional book, it just helps like release all the sadness in you, and then like you feel a little bit better. But you're also never gonna get over that hurt because it will stick with you. And the next question is a book that made me real happy. This might be strange, but The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I believe this is a debut for Julia. I know that her sister is a writer though, so that's going on. Anyway, not the point. This was so much fun. I was very interested in the plot. I can never get the title correct. I either say The Writing Retreat or The Writer's Retreat, but I really like the premise of just like a writing retreat where like a group of people go out together and they dedicate their time to work on their passion and work on writing and try to create something that can get published and like give them a big step into their future. And I just really loved that premise. But then you read the book and it was so much fun. The best way to describe this is like a Pretty Little Liars episode. The first half is so gothic, so spooky, so haunted, and the second half is where you get that thriller and things are starting to really happen and you're on the edge of your seat like what is going on. But it's still like a silly fun time the whole way through. And I highly recommend this. It was so much fun. This was read, I picked this up because of the Literally Dead Book Club. Thank you so much, Kayla. This was so fun to discuss at the live show. This was so much fun to read. I just, what a good experience. I cannot wait to read The Last Word. I'm hearing somewhat similar reviews of like it being wacky, but a good time. So the next question is most beautiful book I've bought this year. And I would definitely say I've gotten a good amount. But also, do I remember exactly when I get my books? No, not really. So, one is this stunning Fairy Loot edition of The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi. Like, hello, are you kidding me? The edges, the map with, like, cat? This book is so beautiful. I'm terrified to be touching it for too long because I don't like ruining my special editions that I love. The other one that I'm going to mention is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride because she's beautiful. The edges, oh my god, I'm throwing it, that match the cover. Like, I'm sorry, that's gorgeous. And then the stained glass with the best friends. Beautiful. Once you read it and you know who these women are, like, it just is so much more impactful and it's just so beautiful and it stands out in a completely different way. But these are some of the 2 books that I've gotten from Fairy Loot, the adult subscription box, that I just love and adore. They were complete wins for me, but they are also just gorgeous books. Question number 13 is so dumb. It's asking me what else I need to read this year, and the answer is always the same. I have to read so many things, so much. It never ends. It never stops. It's a lot. I have a lot of book club books to get to. I still need to make a massive dent in my 12 friends recommend 12 books, as well as my r/fantasy TBR, as well as my 23 books in 2023. A lot of books need to be read. But I'm also excited to pick up a lot of these books. Some of them a little bit less, some of them a lot bit more. But either way, I'm excited to be reading. I'm having a great time this year. I think this year might be my best reading year so far. Again, I will get more into the stats later, but I just need to gush for a second. I've been participating in a lot of readathons, I've been a part of a lot of live shows. It's just been a lot of fun this year connecting to the book community, but also just being surrounded by good books. Like, I watched one of my videos from October of 2022, and these shelves were so bare and empty. And to see them now like this is just so cool. How much I've been reading and how much I've been loving my rating system this year is so jacked up because I can't seem to figure out anything, or I'm just having that good of a reading year, but I think I'm just being really generous. It's okay though. The final question, speaking of this amazing book community, is some of my favorite members. So of course there's the people in whom I'm close to and talk to: Melody, Eliza, Daphne. That's like the main three that I talk to. And then you've got like Meredith, who I adore. And then there's the people that I've kind of hung out with and talked to, but like I watch a lot of their content, so like Michelle from Michelle's Library, Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads, like amazing people. And then there's the bigger people that I've been enjoying, like their sprints and stuff, like Covers with Cassidy, Kaylee's Books, Hardback Hoarders, hang out at her Twitch. It's so much fun. But as for just like members of the community that I am obsessing over and appreciate what they put out, Reads with Rachel and Savvy Writes Books. These are two content creators who I aspire to be more like. They're very articulate with their words. They have a lot to say, and what they say is incredibly important and empowering and make me feel grounded with my thoughts. And even though like Reads with Rachel and I don't agree on every book ever, like I love Stephanie Garber and she hates Stephanie Garber, but I still like appreciate her opinions and I really enjoy the content that she puts out. She Writes Books has a very like similar channel where they talk about a lot of different things and review books. Savvy Writes Books is also like an author. Love what she's doing with her small businesses and stuff, and just like what they promote. These are the two content creators that I probably watch the most from. Like anytime they release a video, I'm watching it within the hour. So like those are the two that I'm like more obsessed with. But when it comes to like active in the community, my close friends and the booktubers that I just often gravitate towards are also incredible and amazing. I just love this community though. I love finding new people to follow and watch and talk to. I love seeing everybody's opinions and reviews on books and just like seeing the books that circle around, like Fourth Wing Hype. I'm loving all of it so much. It's just been a lot of fun. So yeah, that's it. That's a whole dang tag. What a great year. It's been such a good year. I can't believe it's June. That part feels quite wild to me. I'm very excited and intrigued to see what could potentially be my favorite book of the second half of the year. I have so many things that I want to get to, so many plans. I'm so excited and so nervous all at the same time. Like, what's gonna happen? I don't know. It's just, I can't believe it's June. But anywho, before I spiral, thank you so much for watching. Are you gonna do the mid-year freak out tag, this booktube classic? If you're not on booktube, if you don't film books for booktube but you want to answer the questions, feel free to drop those in the comments down below. I would love to read some of your answers. Bare minimum, tell me your favorite books of the year. I would love to know. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and I will see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.